to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it is Saturday BOLO Day. Another fun bunch of stuff that sold on eBay over the past week with a bit of a deep dive into what it is, why it sold, and how you can find these things out there as well. And take it away, Mr. Magazine.
All right, well, it's always football season, it seems, lately. But here we got a Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, a 49ers double autograph card, numbered, out of 1991. Surprisingly, you'd think this sells for a lot of money. I think I paid $50. I ended up taking like $110 offer on it. We were asking $200, but I looked at all the comps, and they were selling for $100 all day long.
And that's from a pack. I mean, it's an original.
I think that's a QVC one with the numbering in the corner.
Oh,
like that,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
Interesting.
If you see them out there, do not overpay on something like that.
What do you think something like that would have run back in the day from QVC?
Oh, probably a couple $100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say so. Usually they came in a little glass with a little base and a certificate to make it all fancy. But, there's a lot on there. Obviously, there's less than 1,991 of them. And they're going for about 100 to 150.
Okay.
All right, next up.
And that's actually really good advice that you just gave, though, because that is the kind of thing somebody's father, mother, whatever, bought a bunch of those back in the day, and they've got 8 different ones. I go, we paid $300 a piece for them. They're not worth that anymore.
Definitely pass on
Very
it.
good.
You can get a deal on it. Next up from a recent toy haul, Lionel 1975 HO American Freedom Electric Model Train Set, still sealed in box, and went for $255.55.
That actually seems low.
Yeah, back in the day it was probably $50. You're talking almost 50 years ago. So yeah.
Sealed in the box. Wow.
Yeah,
and what size is that?
It's
HO.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Keeping with the football theme, Justin Herbert, Chargers Prism SP No Huddle Rookie PSA 9. This one for $459. I did send this in. I got a 9 grade out of it, which is pretty decent. And football's hot. He's doing okay right now, so it's time to sell.
I was going to say he's got injury issues, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Potentially. Yep. So you're looking. Well, obviously you're in the business. You're not a speculator.
Yeah.
But you would want to unload it now as well.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Strike when the iron's hot. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. Being a blacksmith and all.
Yeah. And I'll buy anything if I can make a buck. This has not gotten paid for yet, but it's only been a few days. Vintage Stri, I guess, STRI Deluxe hockey goaltender pads. They're over 2 feet long, 1950s. So I was doing searches and comps, and I couldn't find anything similar in the 50s. But if you look at the new pads these guys are wearing, they're thousands of dollars.
Really?
Yeah, they're fiberglass. They're all fancy, and it's like bulletproof for the most.
Now, what about? So I guess my question is, and I don't know. I know you've got kids in some youth sports, but I don't think in hockey. What are the stuff that the goalies buy nowadays for the youth hockey? Would that be something rather good to buy from what your comps are showing?
Probably you don't want to wear something like that nowadays, I was imagining.
Well, no. But I mean, if I went to, if my neighbor's kid had been in.
And you want $100, I would jump on it.
Okay,
They're probably $500 to $1,000.
Okay,
at the youth level, because adult ones and high school, college ones are thousands of dollars.
Holy mackerel! That is, there you go.
I think I paid $100. I mean, I think it went for $400 or something.
Hey, God bless you. You've got you certainly take a lot more risks than me. Not obviously you did some looking up on it, but I would just walk right by that. So you're willing to expand.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next up, this is the last one. We're gonna end with a bang from the toy deal. Vintage 1966 Corrugated mint and sealed box still, Crime Busters set, Batman, James Bond, and I think, what was the other ones in there? Man from U.N.C.L.E. So the good part is I collect this stuff, and there was 2 in the collection, so guess what? I'm keeping 1.
Wow.
Yep. And surprisingly, it did have a $2,800 bid, and the guy retracted, but it still ended up for $2,000. I can't argue with that, because I think we checked the comp almost a year ago for $700, so definitely hard to find.
Well, and let me tell you that right there, a lot of people ask why we put things up for auction. That right there is the reason why.
Yeah.
You check that comp for $700, you say, heck, I think that was a little low. I'm going to sell this for $1,000.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I did get an offer for $1,200 and $2,000. I go, within hours of it being listed, and I had a bid, I think, of $700 right off the bat. So I'm thinking something's up with this. Maybe there's a rare variation, and I was almost going to jump on the offer ahead of time, which I never ever do. But and obviously went for the same as the high offer. But still, you can't lose out.
No, not for the 15-cent cost. Yep, that right there is the reason why. And now you can take the $2,000 and buy yourself a nice Reuben over at the Stage Deli, New York City menu. L. Hirschfield, who is, of course, the famous artist that did all the did the work down there. Very distinctive style. You definitely mention him. People collect L. Hirschfeld. Milton Berle, Joan Blondell, May 1964. It's actually dated inside, which makes it really, really nice on that. Is folded in half, as you can see. I took a $25 offer on it. Stage Deli is probably the second most famous deli in New York City, the most famous being?
Yeah, I don't know, but...
the Carnegie Deli, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm thinking about how cheap. I think it's worth double or triple that. But hey, what do I know?
I did comps on it, and people are generally getting $20 out of those in general.
Yeah, okay.
But so I listed it at the $32.
Cool.
I think part of the reason is because
it was so famous they made a lot of them.
They made a lot of them throughout the years, and why would somebody want May 1964 versus like somebody who just wants a Stage Deli one?
Right.
Just got one. Plus, it also is 1964. What happened in New York City in 1964?
A lot of stuff, believe you me. Yep.
One of which would be the World's Fair.
What is it, a history, history class right now? I can say almost anything.
Well, one of which would be the World's Fair, so there would have been more guests down there at that time.
Right.
So there would have been more menus brought home.
Yeah, I was going to say they turned the lights on in the Sears Tower, but I can't be wrong with that answer.
Yes, and they ran an extension cord from New York City to Chicago. It's amazing. The next item we have, wow, is the Tiki Gardens ad brochure, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, 1960s. Anything Tiki sells, period, end of story. You know that?
What about Tiki Barber?
Even he sells.
Okay.
Anything Tiki definitely sells. Do keep your eyes open for it. This was a brochure. I paid $1 for it at somebody's stand. They didn't know, didn't care.
Cool.
Buy anything Tiki, basically, is what it comes down to. This is the third time I've sold this, and it's the third time that I will not get paid for it. Seattle Post-Intelligence, April 7th, 1963, flag at Alaska, Yukon Pacific Exposition. I sold it to somebody a year ago, 0 positives. They made me an offer of, I think, $15 on it. And what they said in the offer area was, Seattle Post-Intelligencer, April 7th, 1963. So, okay.
Yeah.
6 months later, I get a $15 offer on it from somebody else with 0 positives who said exactly the same thing. Okay. This just sold to somebody with 0 positives who said the same thing. Different name, yeah.
Maybe he's getting new accounts. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously he's getting new accounts, but I don't know why he keeps bidding on it.
And he can't afford $15, which is sad.
But I just keep laughing and accepting it because I'm like, yeah. It's almost like sell and then sell similar.
Yeah.
eBay is going to think this is the hottest newspaper in the world. So.
Or you're shield bidding on a $15 item.
Speaking of customers, Farm Journal magazine, May 1942, World War II issue planes, tanks, trucks. Always mention World War II. Set up a store category with World War II and use this as, like you'd put something like this in 2 categories, magazines and World War II. The reason why I brought this up is it's been listed since 2020. It sold over this past weekend. 2 days later, I get an email. Did this sell?
I haven't gotten those before.
And it's like, dude, you've been watching it for 2 years.
Yeah, you've had many opportunities, yeah.
Pull the trigger at some point.
Yeah.
Things do sell.
It's not $1,000, yeah.
The only other thing I could think is perhaps he had one of his own, and so he was watching it to see.
I thought you were going to say his PayPal credit got declined.
That very well could be that, too. So we shoot these in advance, obviously, from posting. I had a pretty poor week the week when I went to Allentown Paper Show. The only thing that saved me were Metronome magazines.
Wow.
I had 11 of them. And a guy ended up offering me, he said, what would you take on all of them? And I said, $220 for all 11 of them. $20 a piece. He made me the $20 offers across the board on them, and I accepted them all. So
nice.
Every once in a while, somebody collects something like this. It's an interesting magazine. I ended up going down the rabbit hole of reading a bunch of different issues. But it's all kind of insider talk about, what the record labels were doing, sheet music sales, all that kind of stuff. Not really a lot for the general interest collector. It's very technical type stuff about, sheet music sales for, Hirschfeld were 30% higher in the month of May type deal. So I was very, very happy to unload them all at one time. And obviously the guy must collect them or be a historian or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was happy to find 11 of them all at one place. So sometimes these oddball magazines will end up selling for you. A less oddball magazine is Colliers. February 24th, 1940, Carol Limbald, Lawson Wood, Monkey on Skis, Smoking. I know I've brought Lawson Wood stuff up before. Every time one sells, I want to bring it up again. Very distinctive artwork, very distinctive signature of the artist right there. Lawson Wood. Buy his stuff when you see it out there for $1 to $2. People will buy his stuff all day long. He is collected. And again, you're not going to forget that. All of his art, his famous art, all had the monkeys on them. So definitely do buy Lawson Wood stuff if you can get it cheap. And finally, what is your name?
Mr. Magazine?
You've seen how many magazines would you say in your day?
Oh, jeez.
Million?
I would say probably a million.
Have you ever seen this magazine? Tradeswoman magazine.
I have not. Until now.
Every once in a while you come across an oddball magazine.
What is Billie Jean King doing?
She is, I believe, doing some tile work.
Huh.
Maybe she's...
Carpet.
Maybe she's going to work in your basement at some point.
Exactly.
Tradeswomen magazine, spring 1987, blue collar construction. Didn't really know what to put up on, the thing, but what it is, it's about women that work in construction. Talk about, 1987, not a mainstream magazine. Find something like that. I took a $35 offer on it. I couldn't find any comps out there. I threw $42 on it because it is not, let me see if I listed how many pages. 40 pages. Uncommon. I would say it probably is. And again, to get a $35 price on something rather like that really does not look like much as far as a magazine goes.
Yeah.
So when you're out there and you do see the oddball kind of magazines like that, somebody out there is going to collect them for certain. And this kind of proves the case on that. So hopefully this has helped you a little bit today. Do comment down below. And more importantly,
hit the like button.
Hit the like button. And remember, 1964 is the World Fair in New York City. Come on. We will see you next video.
Take care.